Monster Party is a game that was released in 1989 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a cult classic. Either you're going to like this or you're going to hate it. And it is also known for being pretty gory and dark for a US released NES game. I first played this game when I was about 7 years old. At the time, I had just gotten into monsters and the like through a combination of both watching the Ghostbusters cartoon as a kid and seeing another little cult classic called The Monster Squad. Monster Squad was a movie from '87 that basically featured kids fighting the universal lineup of monsters, i.e. Dracula, Frankenstein, and etc. This kind of woke something up in me, and I started having this appreciation for scary or airy things afterwards. This leads us to '89, where at a video rental appliance store, I happened to spy a copy of Monster Party sitting on the shelf. I'll admit, it looked pretty badass to me. I was very much so in the hold that Nintendo had on kids back in that day, so needless to say I did a lot of gaming on the NES, and when I saw the cover with all the monsters gathered together, it seemed like a pretty easy sell for me. Now when I got home and popped it in, it seemed like a pretty normal game. Up until you get about halfway through the first level and this happens to you. What the hell? This is shocking on two accounts. One being that this game was marketed for children. I mean, hell, look, the lead hero is a kid, which would appeal to them in a, yeah, kids, go get it, you can do it, kind of way. And secondly, in that Nintendo let this fly. Now, Nintendo back in the NES days was very stingy with what could appear in their games. Some of the things that could not were, quote, depict random, gratuitous, and or excessive violence, and, quote, depict graphic illustration of death. Well, now, I'd say that those two definitely ended up in this one. I mean, we have skulls bleeding from their eyes as platforms, the background is full of shriveled dry heads with blank Children of the Damned looks and blood seeping from their open mouths, and there's also hands reaching out almost like crawling out of their graves. Talk about a game that completely shifted gears. I mean, damn, this game does not fuck around. This is only the first level and the game's like, you wanna play, huh? Well, here you go. How this was approved by Nintendo for release in North America really is beyond me. This game features some classic monsters we all know, like Little Shop of Horrors plant, Medusa, and giant spiders. But it also features one that I had never heard of and I had to do some research on called Akiku and the Nine Plates. Now this story comes from ancient Japanese folklore and it tells the tale of servant Akiku who happened to catch the eye of a certain samurai. Now she constantly shot down this samurai until he came up with the idea of saying that she had lost one of her 10 family plates, which back in that time would result in death. So in a frenzy, after not finding the last plate, she comes to him for help, and he of course offered to help her if she would be his lover. So she again turns him down, and, what's a brother to do but kill her by throwing her down a well? Now, she toils for all eternity, counting from the well, never finding her last plate. Hence we have the scene of the well tossing plates at us. This still sounds like a kid's game, right? Well, they also give a shout-out to shitty B-movies, too, by having some enemies like an already dead spider, a shrimp onion ring shish kebab, and a minotaur that throws cows at us after saying, "Move it." So, all in all, it's like an NES game homage to horror, and I can get behind that. I mean, that's kind of awesome. So, with Halloween fast approaching, if you've still got your classic NES, pop this one in. Oh, and this is the ending. What the fuck?